Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of No Invite Livestream. Can you guys believe it? September is gonna be over. Man, wake me up when September ends. That was quick. We just got into September, guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully, you guys are having an amazing evening. Hopefully, friends and family are staying blessed, staying out of trouble. Knock out no y'all. Man, it's crazy on social media and locally in town here in Anchorage. A lot of stuff's been popping around here. It's kind of like not sketchy, just part of life, but keep yourself away from it. Hug your loved ones when you're close to them or near them, guys. But yeah, tonight I got a really, 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 really special guest. This guest, he is not a content creator. He's not a YouTuber. He's not into this stuff, but I made him join me tonight for a special reason. Big shout outs to Wow Eats, brother Yang. He reached out to me a few months ago, telling me about one of his buddy, right? His buddy that was coming to Alaska, and we connected. We brother Kong, we connected, and yeah, come to find out, he drove all the way from Minnesota to Alaska in his pretty tricked out uh bus that was pretty homey, man. And with my limited schedule, I wasn't able to go out much with him, but man, with his time away from home, he was able to experience and enjoy beautiful state of Alaska. So tonight I got him coming on to share some of his story that share some of his journey through Canada to Alaska and also his experience in Alaska. And hopefully, we ask him in the future if he will be coming back to visit again. But yeah, other than that, I did get a little time hanging out with him. I mean, he's a super cool guy, guys. Tonight we are gonna get to hang out with him a little bit longer. Other than that, guys, get ready for a fun plan program. It's not our normal plan program, so it's just gonna be more of a casual, talk. Join in if you guys have any questions. Feel free to drop a comment and a question in the comment section. All right. Let me get Brother Kong on. All right, Brother Kong, you are on. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I know
Yeah.
it's been a good minute, but I do still miss Alaska. So hopefully you keep them good. I still see you post videos. Your what is it? Your moose photo that you just had.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
something I
yeah.
want to come back and.
Man, you need to come back so that you can experience it with me, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Glad to have you on the show tonight. Thank you so much for taking time for your busy schedule to join me. Man, big shout outs to Wow East Yang for connecting us. I was totally, like at that time I didn't know who you were or was not even aware that you were coming to Alaska, but some of the guys from the fishing group that know you, I seen them liking some of your picture, but like
yeah,
you told me, you're really private about the stuff you do. You're not like out there on social media, but it was definitely really amazing connecting with you because as like a resident of 10 years now, like
Mhm.
man, we love like Alaska and we wish other people got to enjoy it just like you did, man.
yeah, for sure, man. And again, yeah, thanks to those guys. Look like two. Hey, what's up, Tufu? Oh, I can see that
Yeah,
too. That's pretty cool.
yeah. Tufu,
Yeah, so
Tufu need
I
to come to
mean,
Alaska.
yeah. Big shout outs to those guys for hooking us up. Like when I came up there, or when I
Yeah,
was thinking to come up there, I didn't really like reach out or anything. I was just like, I'm just gonna go up there and see what happens. And Yang reached out to me, hey, I know a guy if you need someone to show you around. So thanks to him for hooking me up with yourself. And I mean, thanks for the hospitality, man. That's why I'm doing this too. I want to, give back and say, hey, you know what? You did something for me up there. Show me around.
yeah.
And if you guys are ever there, Vang has been a great host. Just show me all the spots. That's how I call all my fish. So thanks a lot for that.
Thank you, man. Um, yeah, definitely got to talk to you a lot about like your journey. Definitely wanted to hear you share your journey a little bit. Like, how was the drive from Minnesota through Canada through to Alaska?
Yeah, so I mean, going up there, like when I was planning this out, I wanted to actually come through Seattle and then drive up British Columbia up, but like I just didn't have enough time. Like I was still finishing some last things on the bus, and then it just kept delaying my time. So I was like, you know what, best way to do it, I was just gonna cut kitty corner all the way down Alaska. And then
Mhm.
good thing is it's next to Devil's Lake when I'm going up there, right? So if you guys know Devil's Lake, that's a good white bass fishing spot. So I figured, hey, why don't I just go up there, stop for a night, fish for a bit. I had some friends and family up there too that are going to be there. So I stopped there for a night, fished with them, and then eventually made my way up to Canada and then to Alaska. So yeah, that was pretty fun. I mean, going up there like to North Dakota, parts of Saskatchewan. It was all cornfield. It wasn't the most interesting, but definitely once you get up to the higher mountain ranges by Alberta and then next to British Columbia, then you start seeing the mountains. You know things are a lot more scenic. But the journey along the way, I want to say, every time I stopped by somewhere, I always met super random and super cool people. Example was when I was in North Dakota, I met this guy, and I think I saw him post on your Facebook. I met
Mhm.
him in North Dakota, and I haven't reached out back to him, but I just randomly met him at the rest stop. He saw my bus. He's like, "Hey, I didn't know you were Hmong." So I didn't want to just come say hi, but when I came out, we had a quick conversation. And again, I can't recall his name, but I'll probably go back to your Facebook post and give that guy a shout out because he said he saw me and just said hello as well. And I
Oh, for
told him
sure.
that I was on my journey up. So that again, that was pretty cool. Just meeting people on the way, and then the Saskatchewan, meeting people. My bus broke down a few times, so I had to get that fixed. The brakes actually went out, and then I ran into a guy that the Outlander app. So I use that a lot, and when I ran into him, like everything that the guy that I said gave great reviews to him as well too. So again, I couldn't be happier meeting those guys going up and next part, a part of my bus again broke down. The I probably didn't do a good job on the oh my god, I can't even recall the mini split. And I think I told you I had a bunch of
Yeah,
issues on
yeah,
my
you
mini
told me
split.
about that, yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of issues on my mini split. And then when that broke down, I had to fix the weld and do all that. So I mean, like you run into things and you fix a little bit of things, you run into things and you fix a little bit of things. So that was sort of my journey going all the way. But once I started getting to Alberta and like I said, British Columbia, I was able to actually enjoy myself. So every time I stopped somewhere, a nice scenic lake or on the cliff on the mountain, I would stop by, just relax, relax for a few hours, have lunch there, and then that's when I posted a few photos on my Facebook at least just to show, hey, you know what, like how scenic the drive is. And again, I would encourage everyone to do it. I don't know if I would do the drive again all the way up because of the very treacherous, like maybe 100 miles before you get to Alaska.
Okay.
Maybe I would do it in a nicer vehicle, which it isn't so bumpy. But again, I would encourage everyone if they get the chance to do it. And there's so many stops along the way. Again, using the Outlander app that you can just look up and say, hey, you know what? I can sleep here for the night. Or, if you're just too tired, you could, look up some place, whether you need water, gas. So that really helped me out.
Yeah, I was curious, so, can you give me, like, an estimated ballpark, that you spent on gas and food on the way driving up
Mm,
to Alaska?
yeah, for sure. Gas wise, I remember telling you that I was gonna do all the math for it because Canadian dollars is a little bit different, and I think I spent way more in Canada than the U.S. I think it's almost double the gas of diesel
Uh-huh.
in the U.S. compared to Canada. So, but I'm guessing just the trip there on gas alone was about $1,000. And then food wise, so I only ate out once, and I grabbed a Burger King somewhere in the middle of Alberta somewhere. So that was
Uh-huh.
the only time I ate out. And then other than that, I prepped food here,
Okay.
or I did grocery shopping here, and then that lasted me for the whole week. So I would just cook rice. When I was hungry, I would just make very simple meals, made sandwiches every morning. So like if I look at the cost of just for the trip going there and not going out to eat at all, I would say I probably spent around maybe $100. So again, that's very basic food. And you know what's interesting about that when I was growing up, spending money and living like that, like I actually felt so much better. Like when you're every day just prepping fresh meals, doing that, I was able to save so much money doing that. I don't know why I don't come back here and don't follow that.
Wow. So definitely learn a little budgeting, huh? Or
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
budgeting
especially if you're
tactics
gonna
and all
use
that
that
kind of.
much money
Yeah.
into gas.
Yeah, man. So, but definitely, even though it's like $1,000 some food, definitely, definitely worth the drive, man. Definitely worth the
Yeah.
drive. I think it would be an experience. Like even as myself as a current Alaska resident, I would love to drive that highway and go down to California or one of the lower 48 one day, because I keep hearing that there's a lot of beautiful places that you can stop and enjoy
Mhm.
the scenic.
Yeah.
Cool, man. What was the first thing you did when you got into Alaska, like just in the state of Alaska?
Oh, I had to find a place to sleep, honestly. So like when I got in, it was sort of late already. So
Yeah.
I was driving probably for about 6 hours already.
Uh-huh.
So right when I got to the border, like I found this like camping spot that was really, it's called like Dead Man's Camp or something like that. It's like maybe 10 miles from the border of Alaska. So that's the first thing I went. I had to sleep. I was so tired, and then thank God I got there. They still had campsites. So even that first campsite was really nice. I got there. It was beautiful. Like there was maybe like 4 or 5 people there other than myself. So it was very secluded. So yeah, I had to I had to take a nap, and then the next day, I actually drove from there all the way to Anchorage because
Mm.
myself, like my whole journey was to make it to Anchorage, right? So even when I was at the border, I was still telling myself like, hey, I gotta make sure I make it to Anchorage because that's where everything is. I can sort of at least settle down for a bit. I can actually get my licenses and do all that. So after I got to Anchorage, that's when I actually bought my license, went to Cabela's, went to Cabela's, stayed there, and bought all my gear, bought some nets, brought a bunch of tackle and things like that. So yeah, that's the first thing I did was go and buy my fishing license when I was in Anchorage, and then um, get ready to go fishing.
Man. So you when you got into the state, you're just like, yeah, let's let's hurry, let's hustle and get into town so we could just settle down from the drive, huh?
Yeah, because I felt like I was already running late. I mean, the whole idea was to try to get there before King Salmon gets shut down, right?
Yeah.
So even when I got there, it was pretty late already. So I actually didn't even end up buying the King Salmon stamp.
Yeah, I didn't even buy the King Salmon. No, wait. Yeah, I did. I did buy the King Salmon stamp this year. It's been challenging. Like the last couple of years, I haven't caught. The last like 5 years, I haven't caught any. And then last year, I got a chance to catch some snagging, but like fishing rod and reel, it's been really challenging. Like for everybody,
Okay.
the run is not as amazing as the other species.
Yeah.
When you got a little bit settled down, how'd you feel, man? Was it like what you picture in these postcard that they keep they keep having us
Yeah,
selling,
so
you know?
so yeah, the year before, like I've actually been to Alaska before. So
Oh,
the
okay.
year before, a bunch of like 4 other buddies of us, we came in early July, and then we actually, I mean, it was like a weekend trip, 4 days. We were, running everywhere nonstop, fished. We did what is it? One day of sockeye, and then one day we drove down to Homer and did the halibut. So I honestly, I didn't really get to see much of Alaska when I was there. But this time when I settled down, like I wanted to make my way down to the Kenai Peninsula, so I took my time.
Mhm.
So I took like maybe 3 days just to get down there. 'Cause I stopped at everything, took pictures, just trying to enjoy it. And those first few days going on, because I knew the fish numbers, I looked at the fish numbers. They weren't really running too, so I knew I had time. And that's when I think I reached out to you, and I was trying to see if you knew any trout fishing spots. So as I was coming down, I was trying to hit those smaller streams, trying to do some trout fishing before I get to do the salmon fishing. And even when I got down to the Kenai Peninsula, I mean, finally being out to the Sedona area, because again, last time we were in the Castleoff River, so we
Mhm.
didn't get to fish the Kenai the year before. So being on there, and then I walked around Sedona. I mean, it was beautiful, just like I remember the first time. But now, just having more time to explore the city, doing a bit more hiking as well too. So yeah, I would say, getting a chance to actually see Alaska for what it is, rather than just coming as a quick tourist and fish real quick and just leave.
Yeah, yeah, definitely talking about that now. That was when yeah, we finally connected and then met up at Kasilov where we was dip netting. Me and CJ, we were dip netting, and then you came in, hung out with us for a bit. That was pretty cool meeting you and then seeing your bus that you drove up here, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. At that time, like you were saying, yeah, at that time the red wasn't really running, so it was really early in the season for dip netting. But then like I usually like to go just to hang out, do a little camping, nothing crazy, because it's the beginning of the season for dip netting and also the beginning of the season for the reds in the Kenai Peninsula. But like a week after that, or was it like a week or so after
Mhm.
that was when it finally picked up, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and then when I was done, well, when I met you guys down at dip netting, I
Yeah.
actually drove all the way back up to Anchorage.
Uh-huh.
And so when we looked and we saw the numbers, I think I drove all the way back up to Anchorage, stayed for a night. I was gonna stay longer because I had my no, my mini split. I had issue with it coming down. It was so bumpy, even though I fixed it, welded it, and then I still had issues with the mini split. The heat wasn't working, and it got damn cold. Some nights it got down to 40. It was cold, so I turned the heat, and then eventually it wasn't working. So I drove back to Anchorage to try to get my mini split fixed. And then when I drove and I saw the numbers went up, I was like, you know what? I can wait. Heat's not gonna kill me. I got a stove. So I was like, I'm gonna drive back down. So once the numbers hit 50,000, that's when I came back down. And I think right after I came down the next day, you guys came down as well too. You guys are on the other side of the river fishing from me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Talking about fishing, do you do a lot of fishing on your spare time?
Yeah, you know what? A few years ago, I would say like maybe 10 years ago, I did a lot more fishing. I would go maybe every other weekend,
Uh-huh.
right? But I started the business, and then I just didn't have as much time. So my fishing trips would be limited to trout opener, one or two times going to North Dakota, and honestly, that would be it. So that would be like three times a year. And then we like the last few years, like since we didn't fish as much, and me and my buddies, we've been trying to plan a trip just out of Minnesota at least once a year. So we added that onto it, and that's why we came to Alaska, because the year before that, 2 years ago, we went to Florida. So then we
Oh,
decided, hey, you know what? Let's do an annual fishing trip where we get out of Minnesota. So again, my fishing has been very limited in the last few years, but it's not like I don't enjoy it. I do enjoy it a lot. I just haven't had as much time as I would want the last few years. Sorry, man, my dog is hella bugging me right now. So if you see me
no.
moving a lot, my dog is like licking me.
Yeah,
I'm
your
trying to
your dog
get him to
is
chill out.
fine. I met your dog too, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How was your experience this time compared to your experience last time fishing wise?
For sure. When we came with the guide, because we rented a guide the first time when we came down here on the Kasilof, and we didn't really know anything, like he was just telling us, hey, this is how you fish, and we just followed it. Right. So not to hate on the guide or whatever, I mean that's how you show it, but like we were actually, at least in my opinion, you were just snagging fish, right? When you throw it up and then you let it flow down, and then he just said just CHUAKIAGX, right?
Yeah.
Right, that's what he just snagged. So I mean, that's what we did the first time we came down here, and then it took me a while to sort of figure out how to actually floss for sockeye. When I was down there, I first came to Kasilof because there was better numbers, and then I was watching other people fish, and I realized I saw other people doing different things, and I wasn't really getting on fish. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'm doing something wrong, right? So I started trying all these different methods, doing like fixing my different lures. And I was at the Russian for like, actually, yeah, I forgot to mention this, but before even getting down to Sedona, I was at the Russian for like 2 days and I didn't catch anything. I caught a few trout, no salmon at all. So I was struggling. So I'm watching people do that and finally realizing, hey, eventually I got on some fish and learned how to actually floss. So that I think was the biggest difference because to me that was when you learn to actually how to actually fish
Hmm.
compared to just sitting there for like 4, 5, 6 hours and you're just throwing the bait in the water and you're just like snagging nonstop. Like it gets exhausting and it was not enjoyable after a while because I wasn't catching fish. I was trying to, hey, let's try to land our first fish in Alaska. That was sort of my mindset when I was on the Russian. And I did that for 2 days, maybe like 6 hours each day. I wasn't getting on anything. So waited for the fish to eventually come up and learn at least my technique where I felt like, oh, this is a little bit better, at least for me. Waiting for the fish to sort of come and once the bait gets into the mouth and then you snag or you set your hook, I would say. Like that to me was the biggest difference between having a guide and then having learning it myself. So that was new. And then also, I mean, obviously with a guide, there's not as many people. So again, to those people that fished in North Dakota, if you've never fished in what is it, Alaska, when the during the Kenai River during the hot spots, there's going to be just as many people. So you're fishing literally. I think you call it combat
Ooh,
fishing, right?
combat fishing. They call
Yeah.
it
So
combat fishing.
so that
People,
was definitely different from getting a guide. But if I go up since I've been there for a while, I probably wouldn't hire a guide anymore.
yeah, dude. Right now, you could probably become a guy yourself. With the
I
time you
did I
spend out
did
here.
guide my family because my family came
Yep,
late in
yep.
August or early August, and then I was able to get them on some fish. So I feel like I don't know, it's too much work, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's too much work.
Even as a resident of like 10 year and fishing for almost all that 10 year, um, definitely technique is one of the biggest thing. Like you gotta learn it, and there is no book that says this is how you do it. Right? It's a lot of like people just word of mouth saying, "Hey, do it like this. This is what worked for me. Hey, do it like this. This is what worked for me." But then sometimes you can't do it like the way how they do it, and then you got to kind of like find what works for you, and make sure it's in the mouth, and then you get to keep it. Um,
Yeah.
a, a lot of guides, uh a lot of guys are actually from the lower 48 and they just come out here to put a boat in the water and then try to uh give a good time to their client, and hopefully randomly they catch a fish. So I don't think they're that invested into teaching you that, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what works for
Mhm.
you. Maybe just the fast 101, and then
Mhm.
bam, that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, being here for like a while now, I'm still trying to like learn how to floss. I'm still getting trained every year by people watching my videos saying, "Hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do this." Like last year, they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, don't stick up your rod too high when
Mhm.
like this, like that." But yeah, definitely combat fishing is one of something people gotta experience, and also combat fishing is and most time it's pretty civil, but sometimes, man, like it's combat fishing.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah.
even, you know what? I didn't have any bad experience fishing in
Yeah.
Alaska. Everyone was super courteous. Like even when they came up next to you, they would ask, "Hey, is it okay if I fish there?" And I can't say that about North Dakota. I don't know if you would just stand next to you, they
Oh,
won't say
man.
anything. So, like, I mean, at least the Alaska experience, like, people are very courteous. They'll
Yeah.
ask and say, "Hey, can I fish here?" And it's a public. Like, at least just give me some space, some elbow
Right.
room to like cast my fly rod. I don't care if you're next to me.
Yeah.
Like it's a public river.
Yeah, talking about combat fishing, it's a lot of the folks that are really courteous. It's
Mhm.
usually like at least arm length. You might not be able to retrieve the position you want, but people kind of give you some space because
Yeah.
there's been stories shared around like, hey, this and that happened. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about North Dakota, how you're saying it. I don't know how North Dakota and the community over there does it, but yeah, honestly, if there's fish, everybody's gonna get some. Let them take their turn. I mean, let them
Yeah.
do what they gotta do, and then it's your turn, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What what style of cooking do you like to cook your salmon?
My salmon. Oh
Yeah.
man, honestly, I felt like I've almost tried everything. I started looking at all these YouTube videos on different ways how to cook them because that's all I was eating for protein for like a month,
Yeah.
which is nice, Like, but to me, like what I figured, just like pan searing it
Uh huh.
was like the quickest way, and I felt like I like the skin, right? So I was able to crisp up the skin, nice and crispy, and probably takes like maybe less, like maybe 10-15 minutes just to from starting to finish. So
Yep.
like pan searing, I think is the best. But I don't know if like the fish that I'm pan searing now, because it's been in my freezer for a while. To me, it doesn't taste as clean, or maybe clean is not the wrong word. It doesn't taste as good is when it's fresh, when it's like you caught it in like maybe 1 or 2 days, or you cook it right out of the river. Like
Yeah.
I feel like there's more the like fatty flavor to it. Like the fish that definitely because I shipped a lot of fish home. I got home, I made it. I was like, it tastes like a little bit drier, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't cooking
Oh no,
into the exact time.
that's definitely true right there. It from like from water to table, man.
Yeah.
It's like it tastes so fresh, so clean,
Mhm.
so like so like good. Even if you vacuum seal it and then you put it in the freezer for a minute, it'll lose that like from ocean to table. That freshness.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have like like 80 pound of fish in
Mhm.
my freezer right now. You could
Mhm.
tell the difference because
Yeah.
头诶要我嘅枪你卡多
Mhm. Yeah. So like now when I get home, like I'm more doing like just covering it in tinfoil, almost like steaming and put like a bunch of lime butter and stuff like that. So I feel like it's able to maintain the moisture a little bit more. It's not as dry because obviously sockeye salmon, it's
Yeah,
super lean fish, so it's
yeah,
it's
super
sort
lean.
of really hard to cook.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah. Do you not do you, but I was gonna have you eaten any of the salmon you caught raw?
no, so that's one thing I keep telling like people here. I was like, my fish has been frozen long enough because I think everyone has I mean, I told everyone I was like, hey, when I clean it, there's a bunch of worms, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
there's this misconception where like we see our fish in the supermarket and then like there's nothing there, but like a lot of these fish, when you're cleaning them up, you see a bunch of worms, you see a bunch of things. So, I mean, they're the FDA regulations. If you could was a super freeze it or freeze it really well under a certain time. But I think if it's in the freezer for more than 7 days under a certain temp, I mean, there's regulations online. But I haven't done that yet. But I still have a lot of fish left, so I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to do some raw lop. And see how that goes. Is I mean, I've obviously had it here, bought it at the supermarket and done it. So I'm like, hey, it's wild fish. Like, what can go wrong? Especially if you follow the regulations and
Right.
you freeze it. So I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to try.
I've eaten it raw, like I would like fillet and then like carrot, like salt carrot, and then rinse off
Mhm.
the salt, and then slice it like sashimi, and
Yeah,
eating it with soy sauce and
mhm,
ginger. It's really good.
yeah,
It's not like your supermarket salmon because most of that supermarket salmon is Atlantic farm
yeah,
salmon,
yeah,
and unless you go to like sushi restaurant that actually does serve like wild caught king
mhm,
salmon, and most of
yeah,
these sushi restaurants they also serve Atlantic caught Atlantic farm
mhm.
salmon too, but they don't tell you. Yeah, it's really good. It tastes different. It tastes different from the store I bought, and I love it, man. I just don't recommend eating a lot of it.
Is that your go-to now? Like the fish that you have, is that what you do? Like, do you do more like raw? Because I know you said, I mean, you guys are there. Like, let's say you have fish in the freezer and it's about like 4 or 5 months now. Like, what do you? Is that your go-to?
Oh, you know what I've been doing, Kong? I've discovered how to smoke salmon.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's oh my god, it's really good. Like the it takes time. Like
Mhm.
you have to cure it, and then you have to rinse it. You have to dry it, but after you get done smoking it, wow, it tastes so good. Like I could take a piece and then just eat it. Where in the past I was like, okay,
Mhm.
if I'm not feeling salmon, then I'm not gonna be eating salmon
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
for the
Okay.
week or for the month. But now I have like yeah, a whole bunch of smoked salmon I'm eating like every other day. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
if you get the chance, smoke some of your salmon, man. Just
Yeah.
go to a Bass Pro, Cabela's, or Walmart and buy
Mhm.
like a little smoker.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You don't need a fancy smoker
Mhm.
because um, as long as you get the temp to like 125-degree, you can eat it raw. You know,
Mhm.
after
Yeah.
curing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man, that's something that I've been really enjoying, man.
Okay.
Like smoked salmon, but
Yeah.
before that, it was just eating like salmon lob, baked
Mhm.
salmon. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. No, like you talking about smoke, I think you were on your journey like doing it, and then I remember talking to you. So I didn't get a chance to try your smoked salmon, but you remember when you were doing that, I ended up dehydrating mine, so I made some salmon jerky. And I don't know if did you get a chance to try some of the
Oh,
one? I don't know if you had
oh,
a chance to try it.
I didn't get a chance to try it.
Okay, okay, yeah, because I think that last outing when we were at what is it, Bird Creek, I think I had some with me, but I forgot to give it to you. So you did get try, and then that's something that I ended up doing because I just wanted at some point you're tired of eating the same thing over and over, so you just wanted to switch it up.
Right.
So I ended up dehydrating some and making some of the jerky, and I thought it was pretty good too. So I would assume if you put some smoke, some more flavor into it, it probably tastes even better.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Man, smoking it is it gives like the last couple years eating salmon, it got kind of like really like it got kind of like really just the same thing, right? Definitely smoking it out. Like man, it's just so enjoyable. Like, but it does take a lot of
Okay.
time though. It takes about like
Yeah.
16 to 24 hours before
Yeah, yeah.
you get to eat the fish. You know, like I have you know a whole bunch of bag of smoked chip just ready whenever I
Mhm.
feel like doing it, you know. But
Yeah.
it's really enjoyable.
No.
Yeah,
Hey man,
definitely, man.
I no, I was gonna say I understand because the jerky took forever too, and now I understand why jerky is so damn expensive. I'm
Right?
always complaining. I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I don't want to keep doing it. I'd just
That's
rather buy it. It takes so
that's
much damn time.
that's what I'm saying. I go to Walmart and then you find some slab of smoked salmon
Yeah.
or wherever you get your smoked salmon and like a piece of slab of thinly sliced smoked salmon is
Mm.
$20. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, this
Yeah.
is the reason why,
Yeah.
man. It takes a lot
Yeah.
of time, man.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's been fun talking to you. We don't have any comment in comment section, so we'll just enjoy our conversation. But yeah, I'm gonna share some of your pictures and so whoever's rewatching this on a later time, get a chance to kind of like hear your context of what was going on in that picture. I mean, I might know about it, but then that they don't. But other than that, yeah, it's been fun talking with you. Guys, if you guys are rewatching this at a later time, make sure to check out my YouTube channel so that when I come on live, you guys get a notification. Also, make sure to check out my Facebook page, guys. I actually reverted my Mika name back to my Tokyo name. I felt like I was losing my originality if I was to try to change for somebody else. So yeah,
I was actually gonna ask you about that because I saw
yeah,
like what happened. You went back, and I was like, we had that
yeah.
little bit of conversation about that. You went back,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I
okay,
was like, I was thinking like, I'm gonna be original, even if my Mika folks don't can't pronounce my name. That's my brand. That's my term, my coin, and that's paying homage to my parents. To we were like little kid that them
okay,
taking us fishing. So
okay.
yeah, I it reverted back.
So when I was reading that, when I saw that, right? I know you said, how do you actually pronounce it?
CHUAKIA.
Kyokia. So like when you say that's your parents' name, is that what you name? Because I thought it was always Snagit. So that's why
No,
you put Snagit in. So is that your name and that's how you did it, or how did
no.
that come about?
So I'm gonna give you a little context to how I came up with this name. Okay,
Okay.
one day I was laying in bed thinking about what I'm gonna name my YouTube channel if I start a YouTube channel fishing, because that was when I started fishing in Alaska.
Uh-huh.
And back in the days when we were like 5, 6 year old, basically they took us fishing, right? And then they'll like set the pole.
Yep.
Uh, they'll set the pole on the bank, and then like we're like running around, right? Playing around, and then when a fish will bite, right? And then the rod is like when a fish bite, right? They'll be like, hey, got the bato on, chokia,
Mhm.
chokia, chokia, chokia. So
Mhm. Mhm.
that's where
Okay. Okay.
I came up with that. But
Okay.
thầu cũng mới của đây là hai chắc của hai là nó là hay
Yeah.
có the bato, chokia, 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 something like that,
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
like
Okay.
yeah, like snagging it, yeah, and I was just like, damn, like I was checking out some of the Hmong YouTubers,
Mhm.
and there were like a lot of like just like name, like for example, big shout outs to Outdoor Kais. There's a lot of outdoor and then their name and then something about wilderness or their name and fishing. So I was like, you know what, let me try to coin a Hmong word so that I could get my Hmong viewers, right? And yeah, it was just for fun, and then it turned out to be more than for fun. It turned out to be a lot of investment, a lot of investment to this YouTube content Alaska fishing um thing going on right now. But yeah, that's how the name came up, brother.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, fishing with Charles. Ask him the scariest part of his trip up here was there any
Mm.
route or any part of your journey coming up here that was scary?
I wouldn't say it was scary, but like driving a big bus on air brakes going downhill. So being nervous, like I was definitely like sweating buckets because like I've never driven that size of a bus down a hill before. So
Uh,
when you're on the Alaskan Trail, like there's some pretty deep in the declines, and then obviously you don't want your brakes to be too hot going down where your brakes fail. And it's not like in Colorado where they have like areas where you can pull off to the side in Alaska. Like if your brakes fail, you're just going down the middle of the road. So like I did a lot of research, man. Like before I went on any type of hills, I mean, I stopped by all the brake checks. I YouTube things like how do how are you supposed to brake using air brakes and things like that. So I did a lot of study, but like definitely, and I recorded. I still haven't put my video together, and this is why I can't be a content creator because I record all these things, and it
yeah.
takes so much time to edit everything. I'm just like, I still haven't even looked at them, but I did record some of the videos of me going down like the very steep hills. So that was pretty interesting. I might go back and look and edit some of those things together, but yeah, like I would say not maybe scary, but just being nervous going down, more of a safety factor. Like that was definitely got me sweating.
Yeah, man. When you get a chance, share some of those video, man. Share
Yeah,
some
yeah,
with. I would love to see it. Like
yeah.
honestly, I haven't gone beyond Homer. I haven't gone
Mhm.
beyond Wasella, so I don't know what's out there. And
Yeah.
you know, I would love to, go out there one day when
Mhm.
Faith take me out there just to
Mhm.
do
Mhm.
some stuff, man.
Yeah, I
Cool,
mean,
man.
driving within the Alaska, like within 2 hours there, like you don't go that. It's not that steep. It's not bad, so you don't see
Mhm.
how scary it is. But once you go a little bit further up, once you get those steep hills, yeah, it does get pretty nervous. You get-
Fishing with Charles. What was your favorite fishing spot you found up here? Favorite species to fish for?
Should I just answer that? Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
answer
yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah, you.
Favorite spot. I was by what is it? I'm trying to think of the campsite now.
Swiftwater?
Swiftwater. Yeah, I was by Swiftwater campsite. So I was there for maybe I want to say like 3 weeks. I was there for like 3 weeks, like just coming in and out fishing. I felt like I went to a lot of places. Like I felt like I visited every public spot that you could fish down the Kenai River. So they post spots on the fishing guidebook. So different public spots you can stop. So I stopped by every fish or every spot, and I tried fishing it, but it didn't produce as well as that Swiftwater spot. And then I could park my bus there, and then I could just walk right down the river too. So that made me not really want to, well, at least keep going to that same spot. Because one thing was finding parking, right? It's hard finding parking. Big old bus. A lot of places don't let you park with your RV. So staying there, and then a lot of places when you go to so the Sedona, I think I can't recall that park. The bigger park that's north of Swiftwater, like that
Mhm.
area is a lot. It's very big, but every time I went there, it was hard to find fishing spots. So there was always people there. So I would say Swiftwater if you're, and then again, like if you're trying to find fishing spots, there's like YouTube. There's so many things that you can look up, and you can try different areas, and man, definitely hit up people, right, that know their spots, that live in Alaska. Wink, wink. So
Yeah,
hit those guys up, and then they'll, I mean, everyone's been so helpful. Like I met your buddy Damien too, and shout out to him if he's listening, or if you could, like I was able to fish with him, and then he's been super helpful, just hitting me back on Facebook Messenger and things like that too. So yeah, definitely let
yeah,
the guys know
Damien.
that live up there. They know
Dave,
their spots.
Damien, he's been fishing out here for a minute. He knows a lot. He knows a lot more than what he's telling me at all. Yeah, but we have Telemong Podcast joining us too. Big shout out to Telemong Podcast, one of my favorite Monk podcasts from Minnesota. If you guys get a chance, Telemong Podcast, reach out to Brother Kong, and you guys should interview him in person because he's local from you guys too. Telemong Podcast asks, "What's your favorite fish to eat, Kong?"
Favorite fish to eat? Oh man, that's tough. Honestly, if I could just say that's the only thing I could eat for the rest of my life, probably tuna. I can't go wrong with some tuna
Love,
bellies.
I love tuna.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm really big into sushi, so some otoro. Like I yeah, I would probably say tuna, but I mean, I do miss the Hmong. You put the herbs into the white bass, or even the pompano. I know they do that a lot now. It's a Florida fish. They do that a lot at the Hmong flea markets and things like that. So I'm starting to get big into that as well.
yeah. Like my favorite fish, honestly, out of all the fish that you would imagine, my favorite fish would just be tilapia. I love eating tilapia.
Tilapia. Yeah, I remember you saying that. I was like, I was surprised.
Yeah, I love eating tilapia. Out of everything, growing up eating tilapia, my mom they made tilapia steam, tilapia fry,
Mhm.
tilapia, just tilapia. Man, that was the stuff, man. That was the stuff.
Okay, okay.
Fishing with Charles. What part of being back home did you enjoy coming back to the most?
I mean, honestly, the cliche thing to say is like, hey, hanging out with the girlfriend, right? She did come to visit me, but just coming back home, and like just like not having to like think about, hey, where am I gonna sleep next? Like, 'cause, yeah, I can sleep in my bus, but you always have to find a spot, and that's one of the reasons why I left Anchorage a bit early, because I got tired of, like, if I stayed in Anchorage, I like it was staying at Cabela's, or else
Yeah,
or else staying by like like the highway right before you come into Anchorage when you're heading down the Kenai Peninsula.
yeah,
Like there's a lot of pull-off spots there, so I would spend a couple nights there. So yeah, that's one of the things. Like I was just tired of having to drive and find a spot to sleep,
yeah,
and then driving a big old bus like that. You don't want to be always on the road. You want to be stationed somewhere, and that's why, again, going back, I stayed at Swift Current so much, because it just allowed me to have a little home base. So yeah,
yeah.
I mean, coming home, seeing the girl, and just having a place to, not trying to figure out a place to sleep. I mean, coming home, one thing I want to come home to. I'm a big hunter too, so
Oh
like
yeah,
when I got home, like that's one of the first thing I did was go out, get the dog out, get on the duck boat, and we did some duck hunting. So that was something I missed.
Telemon podcast. Heck yeah, we'll do that. That should be a good one. Yeah, man. Reach out to Brother Kong. I'll share you guys his profile, and if y'all schedule quick, meet up. Yeah, Telemon podcast. They actually are based in Minnesota. I'm pretty sure from Minneapolis, or I mean, I'm confused. St. Paul, Twin City. They're from there. They do a lot of
Okay.
cool podcasts. They do a lot of like more how I want to say harder question than me. I'm really soft. And they have they've had Yang on in the past too. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Hit me up, man. We could try to work something out.
Your journey coming to Alaska, man, is definitely a story to share, man. Have you ever had any scary experience while fishing?
Scary experience when I'm fishing.
Yeah, like banana.
Yeah, that's the first thing I think about. Like, what hour is it? Like, you meet someone who you like,
Yeah.
that are scary. I've never had any like ghost stories or dot stories fishing.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think like I'm trying to think like, did I come close to like, drowning because
Oh man,
waders and
yeah,
water to mix? But I mean, I fell a couple times in Alaska, right? That's the thing. People say that's one of the things. First thing you do is you dip into the Russian River,
yeah.
and that's like a homage
You dip
that you
into
started
the
fishing.
You dip into the Russian River or the Kenai River, and
Yeah, yeah.
you pee in the Denali River to be
Okay.
enjoying the Alaska experience. Yeah,
Yeah, but scary experience. Like, to be honest, I've not really. Yeah, Chimo store. I feel I've been fishing a lot. Maybe I can't recall right now, to be honest. Like, you always hear people like, "Oh yeah, we went out and then we fished something, we saw something," but I haven't had anything like that. I mean, that's one thing too. When I'm out like Zhong or Nungjaya, I
yeah,
try not to think about that, because once I feel as if like if you start thinking about things like that, that's when your mind's like, oh, plays tricks on you, and then you start seeing things. You're like, all right, we gotta go home.
yeah. Talking about that, man, I'm gonna have like a Halloween special no invite episode to end off my season. And I'm gonna try to see if people have any stories to share. Hopefully you have the chance to tune in on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be cool, but hopefully it's not made up. But yeah, to be blessed, like no put out story, but yeah, scary situation. Yeah, I've encountered some, and that's why when you got up here, I kind of told you about the mud flat. That's like one thing a lot
Oh
of people
yeah, yeah.
don't know about because they see it and it looks solid, but then
Hmm.
it's not. Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, definitely. Glad you got to experience Alaska and staying safe at the same time too.
Hmm.
Cool guys, thank you guys for joining. It was kind of quiet in here, and we were just um chatting with amongst us. But then you know what? It's just good to talk to Brother Kong. When he was in Alaska, man, we were like up chatting all night. Just saying, house fishing. He was just sharing his report. I was like, man, I wish I was off. I could come join you. And got to fish with him, man. Got to fish with him like a week before he left, man. Other than that, it was just more of just hanging out because we were dip netting and he couldn't dip net with us.
I did my best to watch like that. I think that's a little bit like their rules are so strict there, right? You can't even touch the dip net even though you're helping. Like that's a bit tough.
Yeah, yeah. Dip netting is definitely a unique experience. I've heard there's also dip net other parts of like the United States, like especially in like native reservation. Uh,
Hmm.
where like salmon run, they're like allowed to dip net or like do some kind of netting too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, in Alaska, it is a part of like their lifeline, man. Like the
yeah,
locals, the Alaska Inuit, they like, man, this is like their stuff, man. Like they do this like for they've done it for thousands of years, and I'm glad that they're willing to share this custom with us, or this subsistence program with us too. It's cool. Like people tell me, "Oh, dip netting is boring." I'm like, "Nah,
hmm,
dude, dip netting is fun. I get all my fish. I don't have to
yeah,
work too hard. Just
yeah.
don't have to work too hard, man."
Yeah, no, like that's unfortunate. Like I would have loved to try it, but yeah, obviously, I got to make sure I live there.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember you talking about your parents were gonna move here. You could
yeah,
one day.
yeah.
Uh, Telemon podcast. Tell Kong will have to check out his bus as well. I know people would love to see it. Yeah, man, his bus needs like a big picture of Telemon podcast on it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
thank
sure,
you.
man. Let me know, and I mean, I could do. I mean, you guys say that, but to me, I see it all day, all the time. So I'm like, I see the bus. take pictures. And
Yeah.
it's not convenient because now when I go camping, like I try to take the bus because you get sort of tired of setting up tent or whatever. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll just sleep in my bus. It's just so much easier.
Oh man. After so I'm actually gonna get a boat first
Okay.
because I want a boat, but after my boat, I'll look into if I'm like handy enough to either get a bus or just get
Yeah.
like a RV because I definitely want to take my growing family out because so far we haven't like done a camping trip because it's
Okay.
just been taking care of the family and the stuff around the house. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, like
All
the
right.
beach.
Yeah. Did you
I,
just have your kid?
not
Oh,
yet.
not yet, right? Okay, not yet.
In
Okay.
any second now, it could happen
Okay.
right now, and then I'm turning off the live feed, but
All
not
right,
yet.
man. Yeah, well, congrats to that, man. I know you were having a baby shower or something like that right when I was leaving, so didn't get a
Yeah,
chance to. I would have loved to stop by and say hello, and I didn't get a chance to meet your family too. So,
yeah,
probably next time get a chance to do that, say
yeah. For
hello
sure.
to the family, just stop by, and just yeah. So
Let Let me check my battery really quick. I think my camera died.
yeah, I don't see you anymore. So I don't know if
You
it's
keep
just
hearing
me
me?
or is it the whole crew.
That is weird. I've never had this happen to me before. Let me see if I can fix it really quick. If not, then yeah, I don't know what's happening with my video stream.
No worries,
Oh,
man. I mean, we can just have a discussion, get things going, or however you want to do it.
yeah, let me see if I can put a picture of my face on it.
All right.
See if I can put a picture of my face on it. Okay, I'm gonna so we were planning on sharing some of your pictures before. I'm gonna turn this off. We were planning on sharing can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, we were gonna share pictures of your Alaska experience. So we're gonna go there, okay? We're gonna go share some. It's kind of like blown out highlighted, but I think it'll work. Okay. All right. All right. Share a little bit context on where this
Oh,
picture is
okay.
taking
Okay. So these,
taken.
yeah, these are just my Facebook pictures. I was like, okay, how did you
Hmm. Yeah,
get
yeah.
them? Yeah, but so that's actually when I got to the Canadian border.
Okay.
So when I got to the border, I was in North Dakota going into Saskatchewan. So they actually had me leave the car or leave my bus, and they took a dog into my bus. Maybe they're afraid of me, carrying something in, or maybe that was just standard procedure. I don't know what it was, but they actually took a dog in and sniffed my bus. They asked me questions: Did you bring weed? Did you have a gun in here? Whatnot. So obviously, I didn't have any of that. So they checked me, everything. I thought it was just interesting. 5-10 minutes, and I was good to go. So that
That
again, that is the border.
yeah, that's cool, man. Oh.
I don't know if I was supposed to be taking pictures because, but it's there.
But you did, right?
Yeah, I did. So if the Canadian government has anything to say, they got evidence.
Where'd you take this picture?
So that was actually, remember when I told you about the last 100 miles or so? Like I
Mm-hmm.
almost felt like they wanted everyone to stay in Canada. so so my it was like very very bumpy, and the roads were so bad. So I had to like slow down, very like this basically almost to a halt. And so for some reason there was just a brown bear just chilling there next to the road. So I just quickly took a quick snap and I just went on my way. But that's in the middle of from Beaver Creek. I want to say I think that's the city Beaver Creek to the Alaskan border. So that's somewhere
Mm,
in between there.
mm.
And that's where if you lose, if anything goes wrong on your bus, like or your car or anything, you're basically stuck.
Oh
So
man, that,
that's a part where you don't want. There's no reception. There's nothing up there. So unless someone like drives by and sees you, like you're stuck up there. So that's one section where you don't nothing to go wrong. And okay, that there's the Alaskan border. So right by the border of Canada and Alaska. I just wanted to take a picture of me and my dog and say, hey, I made it. It's sort of crazy just looking at your GPS or looking at Google Maps and seeing like how far you're away from home. Just reminiscing that and looking at it, I was like, wow, like I can't believe how far my dot traveled from
yeah,
one place to the other. So,
yeah,
a lady from Georgia took a picture for us there. So thanks to her.
yeah. I was gonna ask you who took the picture for you.
Yeah, we met. There's a few couples that made it, and then there was a couple, the Georgian couple, and stopped by, so they were taking pictures, so we were able to get a good picture there.
um, was there anything other than just this sign around there that like like you like kind of stopped and like hung out or like checked out before you left?
Yeah, so if you, I don't know if I think I posted a video on my Facebook. I don't know if you can show that, but like one thing that's interesting is they actually have the border, like the international border.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had my dog on one side and I was on the other side, and I shook his hand and I was like, "Hey, you're in Canada, I'm in the U.S." So that I thought like that was pretty cool.
Oh, so there was like a visible borderline there too,
Yeah,
just
yeah. They
even
actually
beyond the.
marked and said this is the borderline, and I know I have it on my Facebook. I don't know if it's maybe on my feed or somewhere. Like I thought it was in there, but it might be at the end. There's a video of me like just shaking hands with my dog.
Okay, let's see if we can find it in a second. Where were you at in this picture?
So that was Flat Top Mountain in Anchorage. So I made my way. That's when I was like trying to make my way down, fish, and I didn't get anything. I met you and at the Kasilof, and then I came back to Anchorage. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hike. So I went up, did a couple of hiking spots. So this is Flat Top Mountain in Anchorage. It's about like a 3 mile hike. It's pretty pretty much just straight uphill climb, but it's pretty nice, very picturesque, and then it's not too bad. There's two ways coming from it. There's like a front way and then a back way. The front way, you have to literally crawl on all fours to climb up. So I had my dog with me, so I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna go that way. So I came through the back route. But when I got up to the top there, I saw this dude carrying his baby, with him in his back. And I saw like dogs climbing up from that side too. And then when I was looking down, I was like, man, those people are crazy. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. I was also telling you too. Like, I've been here in Alaska for a while now, and I haven't been on a flat top.
Yeah. No, look, I used to be a big hiker. Like the reason I got my dog was to hike. Honestly, I never like hunted birds.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I got my dog because I wanted a hiking partner. Because sometimes like you try to get a big group to go or anybody to join, it's just hard because people are so busy. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna get a dog called Tolo you more. So I got that dog, and then we barely hiked when I got him, and then we didn't. And then he was a bird dog or a hunting dog, so ended up just training him and did hunting instead of hiking. So every once in a while, there's still so many hikes that I still want to do in Alaska. So if I'm ever back up there, I'm probably going to try to do some more. So that is fish processing. So I took that to Coast. I believe it's Coastal Seafoods. I might want to double check on that, but like I mean, it was great service. They did a great job. But I would tell anyone this: if you're going to get your fish processed, make sure you gut them. And anything you don't want, if you have time to fillet them, because they charge by the pound, and it's $2.25 a pound, or at least it was that price when I was there. So again, it does cost an arm and a leg to ship fish. Like I honestly wouldn't do it again. If I saw people like I met this group of Hmong people that came from There are some people that are from Minnesota, but then
Yeah.
there's some people that were from Anchorage as well too. And I saw how they did their way because they brought like a food processor, or they processed their fish, they sealed them, and they put them into like these uh, big white coolers. Obviously, after putting them in the fridge, right? And then they brought those big white coolers. You know, the big white coolers. I think it's like 150 quarts.
Hmm.
That Hmong people always bring in North Dakota. You could bring that up on the way to or bring that as a carry on, or not a carry on, sorry, as a checked in luggage from Minnesota, and then they put all their fish in there, and then they brought that back. So I think that's a great idea. Or next time, that's what I do, because shipping back fish, I'll tell you, 50 pounds costs $250. So
Yeah,
I yeah, and
that's
that's not including the processing fee and tips if you do all that as well too. So like that's something that I learned. I was like, you know what, I didn't have a lot of space for fish, so I had to, do what I can and ship things back home. And I'm glad I did that, but then I wouldn't do that again.
yeah. A lot of like the friends and family from the low 48, they would be like, "Hey, can you send me some fish?" Right? And then
Yeah,
I'm like, "I would love to. It'll be easier if you have a visiting family, and I can just
yeah,
gift it to you through them, than me shipping it. Cause man, shipping is
yeah. Well,
crazy.
saying, hey,
And
look, if they want it, just tell them, hey, this is the price. I'll ship it down to you. You pay for it.
yeah,
They
um,
might stop asking if they learn the price.
I've actually shipped some fish down, and for ten
Okay.
pound it was, for 10 pound through USPS, it was $150.
Goddamn. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not worth it, man.
10 pound, that's like 2 fish, 2 and a half fish. Yeah, but then my buddy was like, "Yeah, I wanna eat it so much, it's so fresh,
Yeah,
I wanna try it." I was like, "Alright, sure, man, sorry it's gonna cost you a little bit," but he's like, "Yeah, I'm cool with that." So, yeah, I
yeah,
shipped him some fish, but, yeah, like, a lot of people would ask me, and I was like, "Yeah, the money you're gonna be paying for shipping, you can just go to the store and buy it." It may not be as fresh as what,
yeah, yeah.
we
Right.
have, but, it's still salmon.
Yeah.
I think I got one more picture we're gonna check out.
Yeah. So that's the fish jerky I was telling you about, right?
Yeah,
So again, I got tired of just doing pan searing, steaming, doing all sorts of things with the fish. So I figured, and then my fish, like my freezer, was
yeah.
full. So I was like, I gotta figure something to do with these fish. So I decided I'm just gonna make jerky out of it, so at least I can store more fish. So yeah, I made jerky. I went and bought that at Walmart, I believe, for like $100, and then I found this recipe on YouTube, and then just followed it. It was like an Asian sort of theme. Uh marinade. I love your. I think I put fish sauce in there too. I can't remember, but yeah, it was it was more Asian than. And then the first time I think I put a bit too much sodium. So the second time I made it when I got home here, it tasted a lot better. I used like less sodium or less soy sauce. So I like that recipe. And again, if you guys need it, it's on YouTube. I think it's the first thing that pops up when you search salmon jerky. So
I'm gonna switch over to my phone because there's something wrong with my,
okay, so you got
camera
you got your
settings.
video going up again.
Yeah, it's messed up. I Yeah, guys, if you guys are watching this, definitely an amazing story, amazing journey. Okay. All right. One more picture, actually. What was that? The last one?
You talk about pictures. You know what? I had a. Oh, there you go. Okay, that's my family. But before I talk about that, you know what? I had my Polaroid, and we were supposed to take a picture together with the bus, and I never got around doing that. So we don't even have a picture. So while I was going up, like everyone I met, I was taking Polaroids,
Yeah.
to sort of put it as a memento on my bus, and I just totally forgot. So I don't know. We might have to figure something out.
Yeah.
Might have to drive my bus back up there again.
Yo, that's
But in
gonna
any
be a
case,
question I'm gonna ask you later.
so the last leg of my trip, during the start of I think this is like second week of August, my family actually came and visited me. So that there's just brother-in-law, sisters, my dad. I think is in that picture. Um, I'm trying to see. Yeah, my uncle there in the middle there. So came on there, and then we were able to get on some fish, even though the numbers were a lot lower. I think at that point, I think the numbers were around maybe 30,000, if I can recall correctly. And so we were still able to get some fish. They were a lot harder to come by, obviously, but I think my sister did really well. For some reason, she there was this Vietnamese girl next to her, and she paid attention to what she was doing, and she followed her. Whatever she learned, she was catching them left and right, and then everyone, even I, wasn't catching that much fish. So like she did really well. She had this video where she fell in the water. She was still holding her pole and was still able to get the fish. So that was pretty funny. So again, yeah, that's the family visiting, and again, luckily we were very lucky to get sort of the tail end of the sockeye salmon fishing.
Yeah, man, it was great seeing that your family got to experience it too, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think they were, like we were in Anchorage for a bit, and I could feel the anticipation or anticipate. Oh my God, I can't even say it anymore. But they were like, waiting to get on fish, and then they couldn't get on fish for a few days because we went to Ship Creek, and then there wasn't really no fish running yet at that time.
Hmm.
So I was like, you know what, let's just go. And we were gonna stop by the Russian too, but when we drove by, there was so many people there, so we just kept going, and then we got them to my so-called secret spot or slash my favorite spot. And then when we got there, they were finally able to get on some fish. So after we did that, the next day we actually went out to Homer, and we were able to do some surf fishing. And I think I sent some photos to you too of
Hmm.
some of the fish we caught as well too. So
Yeah,
glad they were able to experience a little bit of Alaskan fishing.
I haven't even gone to Homer to do any fishing yet, man. Still on my bucket list. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're there. You gotta, like I was telling you, like hit up Homer. I mean, there's a lot of those places like down the river as well too. Because you haven't been to to Current, right? To Swift Current yet?
No, Swiftwater. I haven't been to
Oh, Swiftwater,
Swiftwater.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. Because that spot like right across from where you guys are. I mean, at least what Damien told me, you don't have to walk down the long flight of stairs that you
Yeah.
guys on when you guys go to the Civic Center,
Yeah, yeah. The
right?
across the river, you have to go down like a whole bunch of steps,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then because it's really steep up.
yeah, yeah.
But also that place, there's not like a lot of like room to fish, so like
Okay,
everybody's all
okay.
cramped. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
definitely got to try out Swiftwater next year for sure. When I was flying my drone doing some B-roll, I actually came all the way to your bus.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like, "Oh, that's cool," but you're still sleeping. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I had my drone too, but I didn't know how strict they were gonna be, like flying the drone in the camp in that area. So I didn't want to like give risk at like, hey, getting yelled at. You're from out of town.
Um,
Is it? I mean,
there, there's like the local laws,
okay.
but if you have one of the drones that like tell you that you can't fly there, then it won't
Okay.
even let you fly.
Okay.
But if you have the ones that don't, you do
Mhm.
want to be cautious because um, you don't want to fly and then a plane run into you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there is across the river there is that little small airport. I couldn't
Okay.
even fly at Kenai.
Oh
Was
yeah,
it you
that's
met
right.
up?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
couldn't
that
even
airport
fly
right
at
behind
Kenai.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
When we were at Kenai dip netting, I couldn't even fly there because they're like an airport like right there too. So yeah.
Hmm.
They're pretty lenient up here, but just gotta be
Yeah.
careful. You don't
Yeah.
want to damage your Spencer drone.
Yeah.
All right. Some odd reason. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some odd reason. For the first time in this season, oh, first time this season, my camera gear malfunction. All right. Um. Okay. I think that's all the photo that I saved.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So We
So
have Titus Lowe saying hi. Hey, thank you for watching from YouTube. You are actually coming on at the end of our live stream. Yeah, Brother Kong, big question of the night. Will you be coming back to Alaska and when?
yeah, so I've been thinking about doing an annual trip. So come there once a year, and I think I we talked about this too, guys, and would like to get Yang and Tufu. Like when you know them as well, they're in the facial forums as well. So and those
Yeah.
guys are the ones that introduced me to you. So I'll probably try to plan something. See if those guys. I mean, I know they're busy, and I don't know if you know, but when I was up there, Yang got married.
Yep.
So I actually missed his wedding. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like sort of quick, and then I was like, "Oh, I didn't get a chance to come down." So anyway, so we'll see how free he is next year, and then we'll see how things are too. But I would like to do an annual trip, come up every year, bring a couple guys, because I know they'll like it. I know they'll like that type of fishing, going up there and just relaxing. And again, we'll give you a heads up so you have a few weeks,
Oh
to
hell yeah.
prepare and take some time off so we could do a lot
Mm-hmm.
more fishing together. And then like I want to, like I had the moose. Remember when we were at the Kenai, I believe.
Yep. Dip netting. Yep.
And I had some moose, so I do like I'm not really big into big game hunting, but like I like to do things when I like the taste. Meaning, if the whatever I'm doing, like salmon, I like doing it because it tastes good. I don't do
Yep.
bass fishing because I don't eat it, so I just don't care to do it. So a lot of the hunting and fishing I do, I actually eat the animal that
Yep.
that I that we harvest. So, moose tasted pretty good. So I saw you doing some what is it, moose pho too, and then. Hey man, are you gonna? I was gonna ask you. Are you gonna get into hunting? If you
Yeah.
get into
So
hunting and get things going,
I'm
like, hey, maybe I might stay a little bit longer.
I'm buying a rifle, and then yeah,
Okay,
man, I'm gonna get in the game, man, because
okay,
I just bought this spot too, so I'm gonna be stuck in Alaska, so I got to be
okay.
a part of the season, because it goes from winter or me ice fishing into spring into
Mm-hmm.
salmon fishing, and then into small game, and then into big game, and then into culture A, and then to get ready for winter.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be a part of it.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna be a part of it. So yeah, definitely I'm getting into it, man. This year I've been blessed. I've been gifted some moose meat too from some of
okay.
the friends and family. But yeah, it tastes really good, bro. Especially the one that we had at the dip net. Man, that was really good. Big shout outs
Yeah,
to brother two for sharing his
yeah, 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 yeah.
moose with us, man. We got brother Kai with us. What's up, brother Kai? Có lò
Hey,
lý
guy.
do you ta chỉ có mà I don't like him, and you can rewatch this, man. Brother Kai, he's a pro fisherman too, man, from
Okay, okay.
Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I think that's the plan next year. We might have to add a bit of a hunting trip because people are asking me, how come you didn't bring your gun? How come you didn't bring your gun? All this, I was like, what, I didn't want to deal with that going through Canada, and I felt like it was just the start of like your hunting season, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, that's when I'll be leaving already. So maybe that's the next trip, whether it's hunting, because I would like to go out like a I don't even care about like shooting the moose. I'm more just going camping and then, like someone harvests it and then sharing the meat together. Like I'm big into
Yep.
that.
Both
So
the way,
maybe
man.
doing something like that. But I'll try to round up some guys here in Minnesota because I know like they
Yep.
saw my trip. Like, yeah, we got to do it. Like saw me fishing. I told them how fun it was. Breaking all my fishing posts. So, experiencing that, like that was a blast. So again, yeah, I'll try to make an annual trip.
Yeah, definitely. If when you do plan on coming, just reach out to me, and then bam, I'm
Yeah,
gonna take some time off so I can enjoy some
yeah, yeah,
time with the guys too,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
But yeah, if it fits your schedule and you do come over here, man, I would be really happy to see you again, man, because a
Yeah.
lot of folks from the lower 48, man,
Mhm,
like I don't want to say they're missing out, but
mhm.
they need to experience this. And this year, 2024 was the first year that you know we as locals saw a lot of like Hmong
Okay.
community members come from the lower 48 to
Okay.
Alaska to
Yeah.
fish. And like you were one of them. There's like two other groups that I knew, and like you ran into some groups too. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
usually like past year, like baseball
嗯
多啊，多了 maybe baseball 或者是 a lot of the time people post on social media, so Yeah, this year it was really good, man. You know,
Yeah,
you guys coming out here, you know, what they
mhm,
to Alaska push for me,
mhm,
ha, they
yeah,
sack out there. Ning
mhm,
ya, ni to nhau, ni to la to sai pe to na pe
mhm,
wo shi lo je he, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you know how Hmong people are. I think like you like they don't know
Yeah.
about it. So like I'm sure if they come out there and then like yeah, like North Dakota, right? It's almost like oh one J and you're like, oh I go to North Dakota all the time.
Yeah.
I tell the people from there like there's some people from Wisconsin driving all the way from their side to go to North Dakota. So I'm like, oh you guys just don't know about Alaska yet. Because if they knew about that, and then I met some guys who they tell me they come like 3 4 times a year. I'm like, damn, okay, I see. Like, and I can see how it gets addicting, right? Because
Yeah.
you're out there fishing, and once the fish hits, it's not like fish down in like down in freshwater where they pull the line and like it's not really it's like a different feeling to it, I guess
Hmm.
the word is, and then you're seeing them jump, you're seeing them pull, and they're actually just trying to get the fish on, especially if you're doing it yourself and you have no help. Like that is an experience itself. So I think once we get the word out, like more Hmong people see it, I
Yeah.
think you'll see more Hmong people, because I mean Hmong people love fishing, and
Yeah.
then to do what we're doing, salmon fishing, and then we like to come in a big group, with family and stuff too. So you say that now, but I think, I mean, more people hear about it. I'm sure people want to get out there and experience that,
Oh,
because
definitely.
it's you
Oh,
don't you can't
definitely.
find
You
that
guys,
anywhere
you
else.
guys, the ones who came this year, like you and all the parties that came. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you guys are gonna spread the word, and then by the
yeah,
time you know, it's gonna be like North Dakota, man.
yeah,
The the Sedana's gonna be built around it. Hmong people
yeah.
coming, you
With
know.
more people, that'd be the day. I don't know. That'd be
Yeah,
the
I
day.
can't believe that
You can
that
say
North
it. You can
Dakota
blame it on us. Blame it on
built
us
a
and keep
city
saying,
around
right?
Hmong people, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool,
We'll see,
man.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
cool, man. Cool, man. Well, brother Kong, it was fun talking to you tonight, man. Can't wait. You know, to hear the news that you're planning a trip. You know, back. You, you know the lay of the land, Ray.
Yeah.
You know more of the lay of the land in Sedona than I do. I can't wait to go fishing with you at some of the spots that you went, man. Like you
Yeah.
were sending me some picture, and yeah, man. Just give me a heads up, man.
Yeah, yeah. I like honestly, I'll tell you, I started looking at spots already, because like some you got to be on top of some of these spots, especially if you're
Yeah,
trying to get Airbnb, because they get booked out, especially middle of July. So
yeah.
I've been
It's
looking
like
and I've
it's
been
crazy.
asking friends already. So once that's booked, man, you'll be the first person to know. And then again, I just want to thank for the hospitality. I came up there, I didn't know anyone, and just meeting you for the first time, giving me fish and all that again. And hopefully, we get to see each other again and
Yeah,
get
hopefully we get to
this,
see each other again.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that it's been amazing talking with you, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, let you enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, for sure, man. Take it easy. Thanks again. All
All
right.
right, man. Thank you, brother Kong.
All right. Yep. Bye.
Yeah. Good night, guys. There's something wrong with my camera, my regular camera.